In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to report monetary contributions received from corporations in the new EFS web application. The new web-based application does not utilize schedules as previous iterations of EFS have used. However, the categories in which different data will be entered closely mirror the schedules that were used in the past. In this video, we will be working in the File a Disclosure Report page from the main navigation at the top of the screen after creating our report. For instructions on how to create the report, please view the video entitled Filer Dashboard in EFS. Please note that the Transaction Type drop-down menu located towards the top of the page will only populate with items that are applicable for your committee type. To start, select the second category for data entry in the Transaction Type drop-down menu entitled Monetary Contributions Received from Corporations. Once the transaction type is chosen and the user selects Apply, you will see new drop-down menu options for sorting and columns to view. The choices default to Created Date and Descending for sorting. As for column view, 6 are required, but others can be selected based on personal preference. Once you choose which you prefer to see, select Set Preferences. Select the Add New Transaction button to begin entering a transaction. A new dialog box opens. While we are entering in a contribution from a corporation named Elect All Corp., let's point out a few things to note in the dialog box. The first question is transaction itemized? Use the drop-down menu to select your response. For this first entry, we are showing an itemized transaction. Afterwards, we will demonstrate how an un-itemized transaction is entered. Next, enter the date the contribution is received or select it from the calendar provided. Next, enter the name and address of the contributor in the fields provided. If this is a contributor you have entered into the EFS web application before, the fields will populate upon selection from the drop-down menu. Next, select the method of payment from the drop-down menu and input a check number if applicable. You will then enter the amount of the contribution. Please note that the explanation field can be used to provide any other information. The asterisk indicates what fields are required for saving the transaction. Please be aware that they are not a complete picture of compliance requirements. Select the Save button and a new dialog box opens with the statement, Transaction Saved Successfully. Select OK to close. Transactions will populate in the table on the page as they are entered. Now we will demonstrate what entering an un-itemized contribution looks like. While we are entering in an un-itemized contribution from a corporation, let's point out the changes in the dialog box. The required fields will change once No is selected to answer the question, is transaction itemized? Only the date, amount, and explanation fields remain. Enter data in those fields and select Save. As you consider reporting un-itemized contributions, please keep in mind the rules about un-itemizing contributions. A contribution may be reported as un-itemized if the contribution from the unique donor, on its own or in conjunction with earlier contributions from the same donor during that election cycle or calendar year, depending on committee type, does not exceed $99. A treasurer is still required to know the name, address, and method of every single dollar of every single contribution that comes into a committee in its internal accounting records. But un-itemization is allowed for public disclosure purposes. Un-itemization is an option, not a requirement. Additionally, unitemized lump sums are permitted. For example, if you had 10 new corporate donors each give your committee $80 at a fundraising event, you could disclose an $800 lump sum unitemized corporate contribution for that date. The last thing to discuss about corporate contributions is the aggregate $5,000 calendar year limit. With the exception of giving to housekeeping, independent expenditure, and ballot proposition committees, corporations are limited to contributing $5,000 in the aggregate to all political committees in a calendar year. For example, if a corporation contributes $5,000 today to a candidate for New York State Senate, it can contribute nothing more to any other candidates or committees throughout the rest of the calendar year. As a second example, if a corporation contributes $1,000 each to 5 separate county legislator candidates, it can then contribute nothing more to any other candidate or committee throughout the rest of the calendar year. And as always, corporations must adhere to the receipt limits of the candidate or committee to which it is contributing. We will now demonstrate what will amount to an overcontribution from a corporation, named ABC Corporation. If your committee accepts a contribution from a corporation over the $5,000 annual limit, please note that disclosing that corporation is required. Even if the contribution is refunded, the contribution must be reported as it came in, and then the refund is reported separately. We will cover refunds in another video entitled Expenditure Refunds and Contribution Refunds. After we enter in all the fields to disclose this contribution from ABC Corporation, we select Save. A new dialog box opens stating the transaction has been saved. The box also includes dialogue about the need to refund any corporate contribution in excess of the $5,000 limit. Repeat the processes outlined in this video for all contributions your committee has received from corporations. As always, staff at the New York State Board of Elections is always happy and ready to assist you. Our Campaign Finance Call Center may be reached at 518-474-8200. For technical assistance, our IT Help Desk may be reached at 518-473-4803.